And hello to all my Taurus friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for January 2023. Now today they've dialed up for my great Tauruses a storyline spread. It's a great spread for general readings because it casts a very wide net across the entire sign of Taurus. And it's like a bunch of mini readings all in one. Sometimes we'll be telling 3 or 4, sometimes 5 different stories if Spirit is very chatty. And this is for different Tauruses. There is going to be one story in here that is a home run for you and that is right for you. I've had people tell me that sometimes multiple stories do and will resonate with them. And you can get pieces of good information from that. But at the end of the day, there's going to be one big story in here for you, and we're going to find it right here, right now. Also going to conclude your reading. They asked that I do an animal totem for you guys, so those are always a bunch of fun. We're going to do one of those, so we're going to look at the characteristics of what is going on right here in January, smack dab, get your year started off strong. And also conclude your reading with the runestone, which will tie the whole little bow on the top of what we're going to call the project of January. So the cards are already shuffled, guys. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. I'm going to bring you in with my overhead view right now so you can watch. I like to share my table with you guys, show you what's going on. In this deck that they wanted to use for you, it has a tendency to make some very big storylines sometimes. So when I saw that on the docket and on the roster, on the lineup there, I was like, oh boy, here we go. So anyway, what I'm doing right now, Taurus, we'll see what happens, but these are my ritual cuts. Basically cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order, and then they're ready to go. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot, same procedure for personal private readings. Here we go. Your storyline starts with 5 cards. I expand out from there where I need to go. This is your most important group. If you see nothing else of this, this is the thing I want you to see, you know? This is the most important 5. We do have 3 out of 5 inverted and blocked. I did not get my stop signal yet, so we're going to continue. There's card number 6, and I do have to limit this at some point, so I have set the limit. If I don't get my stop signal, I got to stop the limit here at 12 cards, and that's my stop right there. So we didn't quite make it to 12. We got to 11. So this is the storyline. You got to imagine that this is in one big long line, but for the sake of the camera, I put it here together for you. I do got to get my pairings together. We do have more inverted, actually. That's going to be quite a bit. Let me count them real quick. 6, 7 out of 11, that is very heavy. So we're going to do a discard right now to see if Spirit wants individual or the all upright, and they want individual. So we're going to leave it alone for right now, get our pairings together. Talking fast, guys, because we got a lot to do. But at the same time, trying to be thorough with you guys and let you know what's going on. This guy's going to come up here for sure, as will this one. You know, like I said, it's one big line, so this is just letting me know that we're down here for one story. That one's good to go. Up here, when we come up here, got a major here. That's the only major. It's going to go off like this. And then these guys here, got to figure that out. That's probably off camera, but I'm going to have to pull more cards here anyway, guys, and kind of clutter up the table. So I'll move everything around so you can see it at the end result. Let me just figure out this real quick, if this is all one group or we're doing individual. It's all one story. It's actually one big one. So this is what we got. We got 4 different storylines here. Now I need more cards. The Lover's card gets 2. It's a Major Arcana card. Grab them 2. That one's good. Is this a person? It is not, but we leave that there to describe what's going on. That one's fine. Over here, we got the Sun card on an invert, which is going to get 2 cards because that is a Major Arcana card as well. Got another person that came up. Let's make sure that's not a person. We're using the energy definition. Yes, we are. And then when we come over here, this is the last little area here. We just have 1 person card. It's a king. See if that's the energy of the king, and it is. So we're not using a person, we're using the energetic definition, and that is all set. The last thing I need are my Oracle Angel cards. Every story gets 1 of those. Up here. And down here. And then it's just a matter of letting you see it. Also check my inverts one more time now that we have our individual stories all kind of pieced and puzzled together. This one's good to go. This one is also good to go. Over here, this is a lot blocked. We are going to need a discard here and as well as up top. So here's 2 discards. This one first. The Spirit wants that one left alone. And this one, they want all upright. So the order needs to stay the same. That's very important in tarot. So we're going to make sure that occurs. There we go. And then this guy upright. And now it is ready to show you. So here we go. I'm going to actually take this off the stand just to make sure you get a good look. We're going to go story 1 with this short one right there. I know there's a glare, but that says to be fair. There's our poetry for the evening. And then we move over here to story 2. Story 2 starting with the Four of Swords, moving right to No Place Like Home. Story 3, we're going to come down here. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. Starting with the Yin card, our pink energy, moving all the way to the right to the Three of Cups. And then story number 4, our nice long horizontal one, which is ending with round to round. Round and round. So there we go. Let's get to work, guys. Okay, Taurus, the best part about the storyline spread, too, is that they can talk about anything they want. There are no limitations on what can or cannot be discussed. So let's see what we got. All right, story number 1. Story number 1. Come up here. Story number 1, we talk about work and money. Work and money is the theme of story number 1. We have, first of all, it's really time to go after it with work. Okay, Taurus, so really time to take charge, to go after something, whether it's a promotion, whether it's maybe a new job in general. Maybe it's, talking to your boss about a raise, something like that. So they have going after it. So they have not just action, but more offensive action. So don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Don't let things play out in front of you too much. You kind of got to take initiative here to go get this done. It's not going to come to you more or less. Now, what they show is, to be fair, so there is, there is obviously an increase here for you to be had, but they want you to be reasonable with it. And they want the other party to also be reasonable with it, because to be fair is basically holding two balances here. So we have equal parts, getting paid what you're worth, for example, and more than likely you need more of that, and you need to get your fair shake on things. So they bring up to be fair. So let's say you're going for another contract or agreement here, or a raise, something like that. Don't overshoot, don't go too crazy with it, but at the same time, your worth, and you got to get your worth. So find that nice little medium in there. They do also bring up inaction with money. So this is probably more about saving money in this time in January, maybe, and it's been coming up for a lot of signs. My quadrants rather, keywords, they get you. The quadrants video that I have forecast the entire year. That's going to autoplay after this video if you're viewing this on January 3rd or later. If you're not, you're going to have to watch it independently. It'll be on YouTube and on my website. But that forecasts the entire year, but for a bunch of different signs for there. They talked about saving a lot of money these first 3 months. I forget if yours was part of that or not, but it looks like it's coming up here, at least for story number 1, which makes sense, coming off the holidays and Christmas and so forth. A lot of people are trying to recoup and kind of refresh the financial sector after all of that spending. So we have inaction with money here in story number 1. So if that first part sounds like you about the job in the workforce, the rest of this is going to attach. It's going to be more or less about you too. They do bring up that, you may want to consider selling something. I have a big thing being sold, something worth a lot of money. Maybe it's like an extra car, an old collection of yours, something you don't use anymore, you could get some money out of, something like that. For some people, it could be getting equity out of the house, something like that. It's selling something that is usually pretty big chunk here, guys. Maybe that can really help mitigate this loss from the end of the year. It really kind of boosts you up here financially a little bit. So there we go with story 1. Very good. Let's get into story 2. Then we're going to do some moon cycles, because story 3 has got that sun energy, and I actually don't have any moon here at all. So, but as far as the moon cycles, which is different than the moon card, that's like the purging energy, bringing things in, kicking things out. I'm just kind of looking ahead to see what we got. We have some new ideas coming in story 4, so that's going to be very full moon energy. But the moon cycles are huge this month and next month. They're the most relevant until August, guys. So huge. We're going to do those next. But first, story 2. Story 2, we start with rest, relaxation. Some of you vacationing, if you are vacationing and taking it easy in the month of January. This very well could be you. Okay, this could also be the advice. Maybe some of you have been too busy and you need to relax. This could also be you. It kind of works both ways. Now, what they show next is the Lovers card. So a lot of you are doing things together, and that is probably part of the vacation aspect too. If the vacation thing makes sense for you, you're probably doing this with your significant other or with another person. It's the Lovers card, so it doesn't have to be romantic. I mean, it usually is, but this could be like siblings. Of course, that would not be romantic, but it's two people or two entities doing something together. So something like that is what comes up. It's also a good month to focus on that kind of stuff, that love corner stuff. I don't have any other love connotation, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that. But they do show that there is a Hanged Man card coming in, which means that the energy here gets a little stuck, gets a little stagnated, okay? It's not really moving a lot here, especially in regards to, and that may be why the rest and relaxation phase is upon you. You know, hey, the busyness just subsided. Now all of a sudden you can breathe some fresh air. It's not so crazy anymore, the holiday season and so forth. You know, we're getting back to normal, that kind of stuff. So stagnation isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, for some people it is, especially if you're busy and, you know, you're a go-getter and ambitious and doing things all the time. Of course, then stagnation would feel like, you know, probably terrible to you. But, you know, for different strokes for different folks. They do also mention that there is some bad luck going on in this dynamic. So this may be with your relationship partner or with this other person too. There may be different layers to this, and they're just kind of spirits throwing pickles at the wall, at the glass, and saying, you know, this one's for you, this one's for you, this piece of information is for you here in story 2. But that's what they're showing, is that the situation here is like, it's nobody's fault. It's the wheel card inverted, the wheel of fortune, which basically means bad luck. But circumstantial bad luck, where it's not your fault. It's not like you screwed something up. It's not like somebody else like effed something up either. That's not the case. It's just like, you know what, this is just a situation that is unfortunate. Maybe it's bad timing. Maybe it's a bad circumstance. Hey, you know what? It's like when you're driving down the highway and you get a blowout. You know, you hit something and your tire pops. You get a blowout on the highway. Well, that's not your fault. I mean, unless you drove over something that you should have maybe avoided. But for the most part, it's not your fault, right? So it's just a freak thing that happened. And that's what happens here in story 2, is there's just a little bit of bad luck going on in January. So when that comes, just remember that we said that, and it's just, you know, you move forward from it. You expect it, and then it happens, and, you know, it's like no big deal. They bring in No Place Like Home for my Oracle Angel card, so that lets me know it's probably not the car, and it's probably more house related, okay, as far as like the circumstances. Just unfortunate right now. Something in the home is what is more than likely going on there. And we go back to the Lover's card, that probably is about the home too. So maybe everybody just needs to rest and relax a little bit, take it a little easy here in January, and enjoy this stagnated Hanged Man energy. Maybe more time with the family, more time with the kids, some family game night, all that kind of stuff may be in order as we kind of move through the circumstance that is nobody's fault. As that kind of disintegrates away, you know, we can move into other more important things. So like I said, we're going to cut away for those moon cycles real quick, and then we're going to dive into the sun story and story 3. Okay guys, it is moon cycle forecast time. Let's talk about those moon cycles, because we have the most lunar activity now, January and February until August, guys. So these 2 months are going to be huge. Let's talk about January. The first thing that comes in January is on January 6th. This is going to be a micro full moon. It's called the Wolf Moon because it's the first full moon of the year of 2023. And the full moon is the best time to get anything out of your life that doesn't fit there, that you don't want there in general. Hey, you just got to get it out. It doesn't matter what it is. The universe doesn't care. You know, we've done very specific spreads this month, and it doesn't matter if it's something we've talked about or not. Let's say it's something, for some of you it's people. You got to get people out of your life. For some of you got to sell something. You got to repurpose something to get it out of your life. Emotional baggage, stress, anxiety. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that's got to go and be removed from your life, let's say certain eating habits, you know, the whole bit. It's full moon energy, guys, and the best time to do that is the first week of January. This is very much, you know, New Year's resolution stuff is when you do new things. Well, actually, the way that the moon cycles line up, that's not the case. It's actually the best at the beginning of the new year to get rid of something out of your life with that full moon energy. Now, adversely, and what does micro mean? Micro just means that it's small in the sky. So it's smaller visibly than normal. And, you know, does that mean that it doesn't work as well? No, not really. I mean, you can still get it done. It's, you know, the energy is lightened a little bit. But let's talk about that new moon, because that's the opposite. That we have another super new moon coming in January. We just had one in December. We're going to have another one in February. And right now in January, the sky is going to be huge. It is the super new moon. It happens on January 21st. So, you know, don't focus on the end of the month, because that gets back into the full moon eking in from February. But let's call it the third week. The third week of January is the best time to bring actually anything brand new into your life. That New Year's resolution stuff, save it for week 3. I'm telling you, much better chance of getting it to stick and making it apply. And you can just use this new year between now and then as preparation time to get ready for these changes that you're trying to make. And what are you trying to bring new into your life? Well, like I said, the universe doesn't care. It doesn't matter what you use it for. You can use it to attract new love. You can use it to attract new finances. Do something new with work, something new with health. It doesn't matter. So if it's something new, the third week of January is going to be your target time for that, so please stick to that. It's going to help it just move a little smoother. And if any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. It is for free, and it is on my website. You can check that out anytime. It's on my videos tab. Go to the bottom there. You can see the moon cycle cheat sheet, and it shows you how these energies flow in and out and how best to align important decisions in your own life to them to make things go a little smoother. That's what it's all about, guys. While you're at the website, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter program. That's at the sign up for that is at the very bottom of every single page, as well as follow the Facebook page because I do giveaways on there, as well as my newsletter people get giveaways as well. And I only send one newsletter email every single month. It's just for promo codes and updates, see what's going on. We're always doing new and fun things on the channel, on the site. And also, guys, now I need to tell you about the new product. Speaking of new fun things, I have my quadrants video. I only do these in January, guys, and this is releasing on January 3rd. If you're checking out this video after January 3rd, it's going to autoplay after your reading. But if not, you guys are going to have to check it out. But it's going to be available and posted everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, on my website, the whole bit. Check out your quadrants video. It forecasts the entire year for your sign. And we're looking at, what is the best quadrant? What is the best, quadrant is basically a circle that's broken into 4 parts. So this is your year. What quadrant, what quarter is the best for you for work, for health, for love? What is the best quadrant to take a vacation in? What is the best quadrant for you to be a little conservative? What's the best quadrant for you to get busy and take risks? All these things are going to be looked at in the quadrants video. You can get a sampling of that for yourself for the sign, and that's going to be available to everybody. But let's say you want quadrants done just for you. This is the first time I'm releasing this, guys, as a personal audio product. It is part of the mini product line, and this allows you great planning and preparation tools for the entire year. It's the only time I offer this, and it forecasts the entire year. So this is all about you, so it's extremely accurate. And looking at all these things, it's a huge drop of information, guys. It's the best, probably the best bang for your buck. Anytime I've done this for friends, for colleagues, for clients, they always say, if you only get one thing a year, this is like the best thing to do because it outlines everything that is important and relevant. And you guys get to check that out for free, a little sampling in the general reading. But if that's not good enough for you, you want something that's all about you, the quadrants video is now available as a personal audio product on the website. And it's extremely affordable, best bang for your buck you can get. Speaking of new things on the website, guys, I got to tell you about the shop. We got Tiger's Eye gemstones going in on the shop, and I'm going to be flashing pictures up as I talk about it here. We got the standard golden Tiger's Eye. We got the red flare Tiger's Eye. It's just red Tiger's Eye. I call it flare because it's so shiny. And then we got the blue Tiger's Eye, also very, very shiny, very deep, dark blue. And they all kind of vibrate a little bit differently, but they're all kind of the same major themes. Tiger's Eye is really good for negating any kind of negative energy, transmuting it basically, and it's also good for insight and seeing things very clearly, and a whole host of other things as far as medical reasons too, medical things that it really does to boost your body. So a whole host of different things. I'm not going to we got to get back to your reading. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but the whole write-up is on the website, scottsagent.com. You can check out all 3 of them and the differences between each of them. And also available, I got a few keychains to go with them. There's a few individual products for keychains. And the best part about the whole thing is what it comes with. Any kind of gemstone purchase is going to come with a free little nylon drawstring bag, a little way to carry your gemstone. And also a little pendant, which is going to be a separate gemstone. Both of those are going to come for free. Okay, well, what if I just buy one gemstone? Do I still get that stuff for free? Yes, you do. You absolutely do. You get all of it with every purchase. Now, it's only one per month, guys, but you know what? Most people are only going to make one purchase a month anyway. So you're getting all this free stuff with any gemstone purchase, and you can read that right up online. It's a no-brainer, guys. Make sure you check out all 3 of those beautiful Tiger's Eyes. Now let's get back to your reading. All right, guys. Now, this is something I missed when I told you before, but now that you just hit the moon cycles, this is leaving. The first thing they attach you to here is leaving something behind you. That is an emotional heart attachment, like cordage to you. It's bonded to you. About leaving something behind here, you really need to leave it behind and not look back. But a lot of you are resenting doing this. So this is very much full moon energy. You guys can use that full moon. You might want to go back and play that full moon part again, because if this is something you got to purge, like a person or emotional baggage, stressors, all that kind of stuff, even just about anything really. But here they show that it's an emotional attachment to you, so it's difficult. It's difficult for a lot of you Tauruses to let go of, and they bring in pink energy here. So that's either letting you know that this is about a woman. Maybe you are the woman, or maybe this is just about something where pink is relevant to certain people, and they just want me to talk about pink. Okay, I can't really do much else with that, but it's very feminine energy what comes in. And, this may be a story that is all just for my females too. So, females have a tendency to feel the deepest, make the greatest emotional ties in cordage, and that's what they talk about here. But not all cordage is good, guys. Some of this stuff's got to go. Some of it is just, that garbage truck. We got to get rid of it. So sometimes it's people too. Sometimes people are no good for us, and they got to go as well. They have the sun card, so they're letting you know how good this can get once you're on the other side of it. Once you leave something behind and you don't look back anymore, you're focusing on the sun, you're moving toward this golden energy and strength. You're doing things the right way too. They show the Hierophant card. Looking back in the past is, you realize things that you've done wrong or that other people have done you wrong, and you want to do things right here. Okay, so it's very important not to cut corners, not to cheat, do things on the up and up, no toxicity here. It's very important in story 3 that we remove the toxicity. Very important. We also have the Queen of Swords, the energetic queen, coming in about nurturing the mindset, so your mental health. This is going to improve your mental health. You need to take that into consideration for this whole thing. And then finally, I think what you deal with this with is social balance. This is a good time to get with your friends, get with your family, your close people that are around, attached to your heart. And I'm talking about the good ones, okay? That's beckoning here in story 3. Do more of that. That social, good camaraderie, doing fun things together. Whether it's just a movie, whether it's going to an amusement park, going to the beach, it doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you're having a good time with the people that love you. That's what it's all about here. And this is also kind of the partying, drinking type thing, but in balance. It's not like having too much fun, but it is having fun. So that is kind of, I think, what Spirit wants you to do instead of worrying about, the other factors that are involved here. And that sunlight kind of permeates through the whole story. It is a very, very good story. We just got to get you to leave something behind you. And I'm also hearing habits for some people. I'm hearing habits in the back of my head. So let's get into story 4, guys. Story 4 is my horizontal story. First thing we talk about is getting over an injury. If you are a Taurus that has been physically hurt, injured of some form, and now you're on the mend, you're getting better. And for some of you, you may have even been beaten up verbally. Maybe work's got you beaten up. You've worked really hard during the holidays, something like that. All those definitions would hold true to story 4. That's where we start. That's where we connect. If that sounds like you could very well be with me here in story 4. Next, they bring up new ideas. So they want you to really start thinking of new ideas. There is new inspiration and light bulb effects going on or going off in your head in the month of January. There's inspiration all over the place, like new ideas that you weren't thinking about before. Like, oh, maybe I should do this. That's a good idea. Where'd that come from? Did I think of that? Did Spirit give me that? Like, where'd that come from? A lot of it is divine, guys. Divine little light bulbs going off in your head. They show that. They also show that, this is a way for easier work and easier money. So for a lot of you, this is work attaching to financials, again, just like story 1 did, except we're telling a different story here. So a lot of you are finding ways or thinking of ways to improve your financial situation, improve your work situation. Maybe you work really hard at work and you're trying to not do that. Maybe you're trying to get away from working with your body, working more with your brilliant brain. Something like that can come up. They also bring up the King of Wands, which is the authority in business. They really want you to kind of be the boss here, whether it means actually be the boss like of a company, or whether it means open up your own business and be the boss of it, or whether it means just be the boss as far as holding yourself accountable and getting this work thing situated. Get yourself to a good spot here, put yourself on a pedestal a little bit here, all that kind of stuff. And your work corner is a big place. It's work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement, if you're of that age. Also entrepreneurship, learning new things, all that kind of stuff falls into this work corner, even hobbies and interests. So taking authority with whatever of those make sense to you is what they talk about doing. Now they bring up round and round. So there's something that is either you guys have been procrastinating on way too long or just doing way too much of. Maybe you've been if it's a job, maybe you've been there for like 12 years and it's just like way too long. You're spinning your tires, you're not going anywhere, you're not going to get promoted. Maybe your boss doesn't like you or has something against you. All these kind of things, there's something residual that keeps happening over and over, and eventually you got to break the cycle. That's what Spirit is saying here in story 4. It is about breaking cycles and getting over some stuff. That goes back to full moon too, guys. We have a lot of actually full moon in there. We do have that ace, which is kind of like new moon, new ideas, but I think that is less about you actually doing these new ideas and kind of brainstorming and just kind of them being presented to you from the back burners, behind the scenes in spirit world, and our deceased loved ones pulling the levers and stuff like that, people helping us out from the other side there, spirit guides and angels. So we have round and round. This cycle does need to get broken, and a lot of you will flourish when you do that. And maybe you're waiting for this beaten up part. Maybe that's relevant because sometimes you got to get beaten up to demand change and be like, you know what, I've had enough of this job. Hey, you know what, I've had enough of living paycheck to paycheck. Hey, I've had enough of, being mistreated or being underutilized at work. Whatever it is for you. Maybe you just want a better job as far as helping people. It doesn't matter what it is, but this is the story here in story 4. We have a lot of work in finance between story 4 and story 1. Let's get into your runestone, guys, then I'm going to do an animal totem. They're already mixed up, and I'm going to give them one extra swirl. There we go. And the runestone for Taurus for January is going to be this one right here. Very familiar with this one because this goes right to story 2. This is partnership. The runestone of partnership. So doing things together, guys. You are not alone. Working together toward goals is a big deal, especially if you're in a relationship, especially for the family. And even if you're not, partnership can be you and a job. You are partnered together. That is your financial stream. You and a friend may be doing something together. Something fun, maybe for business, maybe for something different. So partnership is working together. This is not an isolated month. This is not really a month to really work on you specifically or to be a little bit selfish. A lot of times I do promote a lot of self-type, loves type of stuff. But for Taurus, that is not what they're talking about in January. Maybe later. But right now it is about partnership. So that is the runestone there. Let's get into your animal totem, guys. I did promise you one of those, and I cannot do that. That's a major. Also a major. Need one that I can do, and that would be it right there. Let me pull out my sheet because I have 80-something animal totems, so many. That is my Prince of Swords. And other decks, that is the Knight of Swords. And as far as animal totems, that responds and correlates here to salmon. The fish, the salmon, that pink meat. Now, we did talk about pink in story 3, that feminine energy. So with salmon coming in, also, they're known for swimming upstream to lay their eggs. They're known for persevering and getting through all kinds of stuff that, getting through the bear claws and getting through the eagles and, making it upstream to do their job for their family, which in this case is lay their eggs. Of course, they're not knowledgeable about what they're doing, but you are. Okay, so the things that you do for your family, you are aware of. You do have consciousness and you know what's going on. So just like the salmon does what they need to do for their group and for their family, the same way that the animal totem talks about what you need to do in January for your group too. And the need to persevere through anything that is thrown at you. Just like we talked about the bad luck in story 2, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be bad luck for the whole month. Maybe it's just a couple days. Maybe it's a bad week and you're good after that. So we have the salmon, and also when we have a water animal, that has to refer to emotions as well. So, anytime we have a water animal in tarot and in numerology and just about a lot of the modalities really spiritually, it refers to emotions. So they're saying, hey, it's an emotional time in January. We talked about that in story 3 and, moving past something that has got an emotional grab on you. So here, this is just, you got to be kind to your emotions, but you also can't let them control you guys. You got to do the Taurus thing and be grounded and be logical. Tauruses are so good at that. You got to really kind of lean on your own tools here, lean on your strengths. So that wraps up what has been a very good reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. That's it for me. Happy New Year. Have a great January.